Welcome to The Scoop, where small changes lead to big results. I'm Rachel, a registered dietitian and a mom on a mission to make nutrition simple, practical, and actually doable. Whether it's decoding labels, busting food myths, or sharing easy wellness wins, this is your space to get real answers that fit real life. So let's dive into today's episode and take one more step toward feeling your best. Any and all opinions and views shared by hosts and guests on this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views of Live It Up or its affiliates or parent company. Hey, welcome back to The Scoop, serving you straight nutrition talk, one scoop at a time. I'm Rachel, a registered dietitian. I am the chief registered dietitian for Live It Up. I have about 20 years of experience, and today we're talking protein. People are going so hard on this macronutrient right now. Wellness influencers are saying more is better, but is it really? Let's break it down. Let's see how much protein you really need in a day. Plus, I'm gonna give you 3 specific tips to help you up your intake if you're low. First things first, what the heck is protein used for in the body? Most people know that it helps to build muscle, but it also maintains all of the tissues in the body. If you get an injury, things like cuts, bruises, muscle tears, bone breaks, fractures, protein is critical in repairing and healing. But it's also required for supporting your immune system. It helps regulate hormones, helps balance fluids, helps transport molecules, all around the body. So it's really important for a lot of functions. The smallest form of protein, the building blocks, are amino acids. There are 20 of these that are needed by humans to make protein, and 9 of them are essential. And this means that we have to get them from our diet because our body can't make them. Protein does a lot. It's involved in a lot of processes in the body, and that's why getting enough is so important. Now, how much protein you need really depends on a lot of factors. This includes your sex, your health, your activity level, your age, and whether you are pregnant or lactating. So the basic guideline just to maintain your health is to get about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, or what equates to about 0.36 grams per pound. But research is finding that this is just a baseline, just enough to meet your bottom line health needs. For most people, it's not enough to gain muscle mass or to help with weight loss, or for older adults to help prevent fragility. And it's definitely not enough for pregnant and lactating women. With that in mind, here are some general guidelines that may better fit your needs. Remember that if you truly want to figure out your individual protein needs, you really should work one-on-one with a registered dietitian. They can help go through what your goals are, what your lifestyle is like, and really help you figure out what your protein goals should be. So based on the current literature, here are the different levels of protein needs depending on your age, your health, and your goals. Again, bottom line needs 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. If you're an athlete, the goal is about 1.4 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. And that depends, it'll change if you're endurance or if you are, in there for muscle gain. If you're looking to gain significant muscle, in fact, your goal may be between 2 to 3 grams per kilogram. But some research shows that beyond 2.5 grams, the benefits kind of plateau. So keep that in mind, more is not always better. If you want to support weight loss, the research indicates that about 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram could be helpful for that goal. It potentially may help with losing more fat while preserving muscle mass, but also exercise is very important for that. Getting this much also helps increase your satiety, so you feel full for longer. Older adults may need about 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram, as a study showed that when this much was eaten, older adults were less frail, which often leads to better quality of life. And now pregnant and lactating women, they need about 1.1 grams of protein per kilogram at their baseline. The more kids you got brewing in there, the more protein you need. That's gonna give you a general sense of where your protein needs may fall. Just a place to start. Pick your poison. Now, there's a little bit of confusion out there as to how to count your protein intake. So let's discuss. When we talk about grams of protein for your needs, this means how much protein is in a serving, not the gram weight of the food. So, for example, let's take out some raw steak, This one weighs about 121 grams, but it contains 23 grams of the macronutrient protein. So don't be confused with how you count your macros. The amount of grams is not how much it weighs. The second question I get is, should I weigh my protein while cooked or raw? Now, the general consensus when you look online is that weighing it raw is best because most nutritional data out there is based on raw weight. With that said, my take is that as long as you are consistent and that you track, when you track your macros, you're choosing correctly, either cooked or raw in the program, then you'll be just fine. You weighed it cooked? Great, choose that one. You weighed it raw? Awesome. Make sure you find the correct information for the raw weight. And here's why it matters. Let's get out the cooked one. This is 4 ounces of strip steak after being cooked. How much does it weigh? About 91 grams, which is about 3.2 ounces. Remember, it was 121 grams and 4 ounces before it was cooked. Now, this was 4 ounces before, and then we cooked it. But it contains the same amount of protein, 23 grams. The only change is water weight. The moisture content evaporates during the cooking process, leaving the protein and the other macros the same. It might lose a little bit of fat if the fat drips off during cooking in that process as well, but it's mostly that you're just losing the water weight. If instead you look up 4 ounces of raw steak and then 3 ounces of raw steak, the difference will be about 6 to 9 grams of protein, depending on the cut of meat. For this one, 4 ounces of the raw contained about 23 grams of protein, and then I looked up 3 ounces of raw steak, and that's 17 grams of protein. So this is a lot of numbers, and it's a lot of math, but really the bottom line is that you can measure it any way that you want, just be consistent. And if you're tracking, make sure you're inputting the correct food, whether it is raw or cooked. Just use your best judgment. Let's get into the fun stuff. Here are 3 tips to help make sure you're getting enough protein. And the first tip is figure out your needs. The good news is you really only have to do this once, unless you lose a ton of weight, and then you're gonna have to redo it, or you gain a lot of weight. So you're going to figure out how much protein you need per day, and then split that amount between your meals and snacks. Let's work this through together as an example. Okay, you are a 150-pound woman who is interested in weight loss. You are also exercising. So you aim for about 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. Let's do some math. So we got 150 divided by 2.2 equals 68 kilograms. It's how you find your weight in kilograms, divide by 2.2. 68 kilograms times 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram equals 95 grams of protein you need during the day. Let's make it an even 100. Second tip, plan it out and get the groceries. Okay, you figured out your daily needs. Now you have to actually plan it out, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Take your total protein and split it up between your meals. You have 100 grams of protein, so I would recommend something like 15 to 20 grams of protein at breakfast, 30 grams of protein at lunch and dinner each, and then get about 10 to 15 grams to hit during your snacks. Now you can get it all during your meals, that's fine too, but some people like to split it up. So what might this actually look like? Let's run through a day. So breakfast, 2 whole eggs or 4 egg whites, plus a greens smoothie with like 10 grams of protein powder added to it. That'll be 15 to 20. Or you could do Greek yogurt. This is about 20 grams. Lunch and dinner, you'll need about 4 ounces of cooked chicken or lean beef, or about 5.5 ounces of fish, or just under 1 cup of firm tofu. This is about 35 grams. Snacks, Greek yogurt, or half a cup of cottage cheese, or half a cup of cooked edamame, or 1 ounce of almonds with a 1/4 cup of hummus and veggies. All of those are about 10 grams. Now that it's all planned, take time to make your grocery list. How much do you need total throughout the week? Also, as you get to weekly planning, I recommend changing the proteins as you eat. Change the proteins you eat like throughout the week to help keep it in variety, helps prevent you from getting bored. It also helps you get different micronutrients, so keeps things fun. Third tip, prep and cook ahead of time. One of the biggest obstacles my clients talk about is knowing that they need the protein, but then being in a time crunch or too tired to cook, and then they just skip it. And because it feels too overwhelming, you get home late, and then what do? If this is an issue for you, the solution is prepping ahead of time. For example, for me, lunch is the toughest meal for me to get enough protein. I don't even want to make anything for lunch. I hate it. The best solution would be to take all the protein I need and cook it up so that it's there when I need it. So I would do that on a Sunday and then I have it, or make enough at dinner where you can have leftovers the next day. I know it sounds overwhelming to set aside the time to get this done, but you could actually do this while you just cook dinner on a Sunday. So you prep and you make dinner on Sunday and have it done. Just season and bake an extra 5 servings of chicken or fish or steak so that you're ready for the week, or tofu. Or bake 3 servings of chicken and then get your protein from canned chunk light tuna for less mercury the other 2 days, which is an easy option. You just open it, you drain it, and you eat it. Think about each meal and when you may need the most help and prep so that you can be successful. Micro habit time. Let's start with, if your goal is to have more protein, or really this relates to any of your goals, and you just can't seem to set aside the time to prep or prepare and continue to fail to meet these goals that you're setting for yourself, ask yourself why. What is holding you back from your success? 1 year from now, you'll either be complaining about not getting started, or you'll be celebrating. You'll either be on your way to taking medications for things that can be easily regulated by the diet and lifestyle, or you'll be continuing to work toward your best self. You'll either be upset with your body and health, or you'll be proud of your strength and your confidence. This choice is yours. So what will you be doing this week to help invest in your future self? First, figure out what your protein needs are. Second, make a plan for how to reach them each day. And third, set it into motion. These changes are for you. These changes are here to help you be your best self. These changes will make or break your longevity. So remember that every day, every small step builds into big change. Be the person you are proud of. You can do this. Take that first step.